Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls that love to chat over tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta. And thank you everyone for tuning in again today for our weekly chats. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you can get notifications when we have our chats. And today we are drinking, what are we drinking, Gloria?
We're drinking Good Earth Chai Tea. This one happens to be black tea, cardamom, pepper, cinnamon, and some other spices.
Okay,
So
and we've had it
this
seeping here for a
Yes,
bit.
yes. And one of the things I love about the Good Earth teas, I had forgotten they have little sayings on the tea bag. So my little saying is, a hero is no braver than an ordinary man, but he is braver 5 minutes longer. And that is by Ralph Waldo Emerson.
And my one says, if I can read it, my eyesight's not that great. It says, he who is drowned is not,
Afraid of the rain.
does it say afraid? No, he who is drowned is not troubled by the rain.
Yeah.
And then it is by, oh my goodness,
It is a wise saying.
wise saying from the,
Orient.
okay, you can read this.
Yes, wise saying.
Okay, this
from
is
the
a
Orient.
wise saying from the Orient. There is no
Yeah.
person. It's just the
Yes,
Orient.
it's,
a
yes.
wise saying.
The thing that's really cute about that is, well, why would you be troubled by the rain once you're drowned? You're already in water. Water is water. So this person is very wise.
Yes. Okay, let's try it now.
Let's check this out.
I'm going to dunk mine a bit
Yes.
just to mix it in. It smells wonderful.
Yes.
It smells so good, but you never know, right?
That's right.
Teas usually smell really great, and then sometimes when you drink it, has no flavor. So we'll
None.
see.
All right.
All right, let's try
Okay,
this.
cheers.
Cheers. I don't taste that much chai.
No, I
Do you?
taste more black tea.
I taste more black tea.
Yeah.
It smells a lot of chai.
Yeah, the
Smell.
smell is chai. You can smell the cinnamon. However, when you drink it, all you get is black tea.
Black tea. So if you want something that's really tasting of chai, you may not want to get this Good Earth one.
Because
but it's
this
still
is all
good.
about black tea. So today, we thought we would. There's so much going on in the world, so we thought we'd kick our conversation off with technology. Love it, hate it. It has become very interesting that lots and lots of reports and papers are being done to say that parents need to limit their children's screen time, because what's happening is the children are becoming isolated. So if they have a bully experience, instead of having a bucket of friends and peers to go and say, Linda's being mean to me or Johnny hit me, all they have is the device. And they say that they think that is causing some of the uptick of suicide that we're all seeing.
So they're
right
trying
now.
to say that they confide in the cell phone?
Well, when they are upset, they have no one to talk to.
Right.
So the phone, the device is all they have. So they're recommending that parents, get this now, restrict their screen time down to 3 hours a day.
Down to 3 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many hours are they really on the screen?
Well-
if it's restricting down to 3 hours, what is it? 5 hours?
Well, it's way more than that. And
God.
the other thing that, and I have a problem with this too, they say you shouldn't engage with activities just before you go to bed that's going to ramp you up.
Oh, that's hard
Yeah,
sometimes.
but like I like to read a book, and if my book is really intense, I still read it.
Yeah.
Or if I have like little mind games and little puzzles that I do, and I like to do them just before I fall asleep. And they're like, make sure you take the devices from your children, because I guess some kids, they're sleeping with them, they're putting them under
It's
their
not,
pillows.
yeah, and it's not, they're saying that it's not very healthy for your
Right.
brain
Right.
and your body, because there was this one story I heard, and I'm sure you've heard of it. Some lady used to keep her cell phone in her bra,
Yes.
and she got breast cancer from
Yes.
that. So, that's some kind of correlation, I'm thinking.
Right, because
So,
I used
yeah.
to do that. I mean, because it was like I didn't have any other place, so I just put it in my bra, and then I heard about her getting, breast
Breast
cancer. And I
cancer,
thought, well, I
yeah.
won't do that anymore.
And they also say that men that put their cell phones in their pockets,
right,
it can affect,
their performance,
or
Yeah.
if they want to try and have a child
children.
or something.
Yes,
So that's the thing. We love technology, but we hate it as well
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, all the stuff that happens, we love it, but then when it breaks down or the internet's slow or we can't get signal, we're like, we're frantic. Or the other thing is if we lose our phone, how many of you are like frantic when you lose your phone? I'm kind of like, my God, I don't even have anyone's number memorized.
There you go.
Except for mine and my husband's.
Yeah. I purposely dial numbers so that I will remember them, because if you just, I have my sister I was talking to a few minutes ago, didn't know any numbers anymore.
Nobody
because
does.
It's just click, click, click.
Nobody does. That's why when people lose their phones, they're frantic.
Yes.
Because they're like, I can't even dial. Well, I guess they can dial 911, but if they need to get a hold of their husband,
Yeah.
any loved ones, they can't because they don't know their number.
I have this really cool thing that I do on my phone. I have my husband as ICE.
ICE, yeah.
In case of emergency.
Right.
And so everyone should do that, because if you're somewhere and you're incapacitated for any reason, that's what they look for, is because you've got hundreds of phone numbers. Who do they call?
Right, right. So it's best to, so do you put ICE or do you put your husband's name and then ICE?
You can do it either way.
They'll find it either way?
They'll find it, yeah,
Okay.
as long as it's part of the description. So you could put your husband's name, and instead of the company being where he works, you could say ICE. You could put your husband's name as the first name and put ICE as the last name.
Okay.
Because what they do is they do a search for ICE.
Okay, that's a good thing. Because I remember years ago I went to a CPR class.
Right.
And they taught us to do that.
Right.
But as time goes by, I did it on that phone, but when you switch phones, you forget.
Yeah, you don't even think about it anymore. So that's just our little helpful tip for you for the day. As we all know, the poor people of the Bahamas were hit by a terrible storm last week, and there's still about 1,300 people unaccounted for. So they're still looking for them. I've never seen devastation like the pictures that they've been showing. I mean, houses look like little toothpicks and splinters. It was like bombs just went off and just blew up the Bahamas.
And I'm surprised they even know it's 1,300. I'm sure it's more than that.
Oh,
How
I'm
come
sure.
they even say 1,300?
Yeah, that's just people looking for people.
Right.
They don't know if there are people that were together that aren't looking for each other.
That no one's looking for them.
Right. So they keep saying that that's just a target number. They expect it to go higher, much higher.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just, I can't say I can imagine what they're going through, because I can't. No one can imagine. Unless you've been through that and you're living through that, there's no way you can imagine what they're going through. Puerto Rico went through that years ago, and they're still even recovering from it today.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. Even, New Orleans, they went through that. Katrina, yeah. I mean, the devastation, it's just there, and it's becoming more and more intense. And I think as people, human beings of the world, we've got to wake up and pay attention, because it's not getting any better.
No, we keep saying that every chat now.
Yeah.
The world is not getting any better. We've got to do our part. What can we do to help this global, I say it's global warming,
Oh,
right?
it is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We have to
getting
do
worse
something.
and worse every year.
Yeah.
And if people feel that, oh, I'm just one person, what can I do? I mean, there's nothing I can do. If everybody thought that way, then
nothing would
the whole
ever.
population, the whole community, nothing's going to get done.
Yeah.
So we all have to do our part. We can't rely on the few people that are out there to do this.
Absolutely.
We all have to do it together.
Absolutely. And sort of in the same spirit of doing things together, we just want to acknowledge and honor the men and women of New York City, the policemen, the firemen, the first responders, as well as the citizens of New York, celebrating. I cannot believe it has been 18 years since.
I was just counting that this morning. Wow, it's been 18 years.
Yeah. There are children that grew up without their parents, it once again, very, very devastating, and it took them over 3 hours to read the names of the individuals that were lost during that catastrophe. So, do you remember where you were and what you were doing? I was actually at home in bed, asleep, minding my own business. And my sister called and she's like, wake up. Some idiot just clipped the side of one of the towers in New York. And we continued to talk and we're watching television. And I saw the second plane. It comes around and it kind of like, you hear it like, making that noise. And it gets about this far from the building and then it guns it. And at that point, we knew this was no longer an accident, that this was something really serious. And I laid in bed a little while longer and then I was like, oh my God, we both have to get up and go to work. And we got up and we got dressed. And when I got to work, which was like an hour and a half later than normal, my car was maybe only 4 or 5 in the parking lot. People were not at work and they slowly started coming in, and we put the televisions on the news so that people could just see it. It was just devastating. We could not believe that something like that happened on American
that
soil.
day, I don't think anyone got any work done if you're working anywhere.
Right.
I remember where I was. I heard it when I was driving to work, and it was on a morning radio station that I usually listen to. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even get out my car to go to work. But then I knew I had to. So when I got there, everyone was huddled around the break room, the TV kitchen break room,
Right.
and nobody was getting any work done. Or they were either, if they couldn't see the TV, they were on their computers, their monitors, watching the news. And
it
wow,
was just
crazy.
devastating.
It was crazy. And just, I remember distinctly the feeling that came over me.
Yes.
When all that commotion and just, I don't know, this eerie feeling that came over me the whole day. I just was not, even
Right.
though it was New York and we're in California, it was just like weird. I couldn't function right that day.
Yeah, because a lot of people, because we, the executives of my company, they, would walk around and they were like, well, how are you feeling? And, they got us to like start talking, and people felt, just because that was the first one in New York, what was the probability that it could happen in other states? So no one felt comfortable enough to resume their normal life.
We were all really, our awareness was heightened after
Yes.
that. Nobody felt safe anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I remember days, weeks, months after that, we were all thinking, where next?
Yeah.
Where is it going to hit next? And we were all on our toes.
Yes.
And it was not a peaceful time then. It was very unsettling. I remember that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that was a very horrible time, and we just send our thoughts and prayers. And I know that there has been some issues of late for people not wanting to allow those individuals to continue to receive benefits for their health. And I hope that the government of the United States and of New York will come together to make sure that they will be well taken care of, because where most people, you notice, were running away, they were running into danger.
Right.
And I think when we put people's lives in danger, we should take care of them. If they are trying to protect us, to protect and serve us, then we should make sure that we're there to make sure they're okay.
As comfortable as possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they have experienced different illnesses associated with being, at ground zero during all of this. So, and it's really funny because that brings up another thought. I'm the kind of person, I don't like the taste of some tap water. Now, if I'm in Tahoe, I'll drink the water right out of the sink because it's just refreshing and it's just water. You know how sometimes you can go to someone's house and the water has an odor to it.
Oh yeah, I won't drink any water unless I know it's clean. I don't even drink tap water at home.
I know.
Like,
you want to know where it comes
Right.
from. And yet I also want to be responsible with all of the plastic that's in the oceans and, you know, our baby seals and little sea otters. And, you know, even, you know, they say that sometimes the whales, the sharks, the dolphins, they're ingesting plastic.
all the plastic.
So I want to be conscious of that. And it's like, how do we figure out something that we can do where we can still have quality water, and maybe it's not so much in a plastic bottle?
Well, I don't really drink that much bottled water out of plastic anymore unless I really have to. If you're going to an event and that's all they provide and I'm really thirsty, I will. But I try not to. But what I do is I have 2 water bottles that are glass. And I don't even buy the plastic, those reusable ones anymore.
Right.
I just buy glass. And some people use, they don't, you know, they say, well, glass can break and blah, blah, blah. But mine are all like, it's got that, you know, rubber around it, so it supports it. But you can use those other ones. What are those metal ones? There's a name for them.
Yeah, well, I know they have stainless steel insert.
Stainless steel, so that you can
they're
use
not
those
plastic.
Ones. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I say. Try and switch away. And what I really love now is that there are some more and more restaurants are now serving drinks without straws or with paper straws.
Yes.
And I do understand paper straws is not the best because it starts to
break down
fast. And when you drink it and then but they're trying.
I end up doing
they're
one
trying.
half, and then if I get a second glass, I flip the straw, and for some reason it's much better.
But I was at a fair this past weekend at the Mountain View Arts and Wine Festival, and there was a stand. This vendor, he was selling those reusable straws that you can actually, they're made of metal, I think. Forget what the material is.
Right.
But the whole purpose of it was that you carry it around with you wherever you go. So you just bring it out of your bag and you use it, and it probably comes with one of those pipe cleaners to clean it. So I'm actually seriously thinking of buying it because I've seen it in shops. Yeah. They sell one or they sell a pack of 7 or 8, and I've seen those.
Well, you know that little cool place that you were telling me where you went to get the tea bags?
Which one's that?
Is it?
Oh, Daiso.
Yes.
The Japanese store called Daiso, yes.
A friend of mine went there and she bought stainless steel straws. The thing that, and she gave me one, and I'm very excited. I just have to find something to put it in so that I don't forget and walk away.
Yeah, so that's good they're doing that.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. So the one that I saw, they actually came with its own holder.
Nice.
And then I was at a networking, like a social event a few weeks ago, and some lady pulled out of her bag one that folds.
Nice.
It folds down, and it has its own case, and it comes with a pipe cleaner, and she just whipped it out, and she opened it out, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. I'm gonna look for one myself.
So that'll help a lot with that. And then I don't do that much canned goods. When I was younger, one of my best friend, her sister used to work for Del Monte.
Oh, okay.
And one day we were just, girl chatting, and she said something about, she didn't eat anything out of a can anymore. And I was like, why? And she was telling us when you have the volume of food going on those assembly lines, it's hard to keep rats and rodents down. It's just almost damn near impossible. And she would say how you don't know.
What are you saying? Rats and rodents?
Well, like,
how do they get into the...
Well, they get into, you could probably look this up. This is serious. But they can get into places. And so, like, I used to love cream corn. I used to eat cream corn probably a couple of times a week. And I can't tell you the last time I've had cream corn.
Okay, let's break this down.
All right, so we're going
I'm interested in this. So, you have canned goods.
Yes.
And the rats are just running around. Is that what you're saying?
What they have is they have large troughs of, let's say we'll use corn. So the corn is in these troughs and it's hot and it's being stirred. Well, anytime you have open containers with lots of food, you run the risk and the possibility that critters can get into the building. And, she said, like, in all the years she worked there, she only saw one. And it was on the ground, but it was just that just had a little.
That image was enough to deter her from eating canned foods for life.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and for me, the thing that got me to also be a little concerned, I hadn't thought about this. You know how sometimes when you open up a can and it's not metal all the way through, it has that little plastic lining?
Don't they all have them now?
I think that they've been doing that to like make it more sanitized, but then once again, that's plastic.
That's plastic again.
And so now your food is sitting in plastic. So I think that one of the reasons that we experience such high volumes of illness, there was a gentleman in here this morning, and he was talking about how his daughter, she eats all different kinds of foods, and all of a sudden she has got cancer. And, he's like, she used to do everything in plastic. She heated her food in plastic.
Oh,
She drank water out of plastic. She used to do the canned goods out of plastic. She's young, so she's not really, well, I shouldn't say, she's 40, so she's not like a baby. She has a 9-year-old child, and now she's battling for her life.
Well, that brings me to a story similar. I have a friend, and this may not be, but I don't know, but I have my own opinions, and people, you might have your own opinions, but she drank water out of plastic bottle like there was no tomorrow. Like you'd go in her car,
right,
and the back seats and the floors would be filled with empty plastic water bottles.
Right. And
she drank a ton of water, and she did get cancer as well.
Yeah.
And this was right before her 40th birthday that she passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, young.
Yeah, she got lung cancer. I don't know if that's anything to do with it, but you never know, right? You want to be very careful, because you're saying that, and I'm thinking about a friend who got cancer. She's now passed away.
Yeah.
Long time ago, and that's something that should not happen, and people are not knowing this.
Yeah. And I tell you, it's, the kind of the reason that I brought up, like with the water bottles, I remember when they used to do like the 6-packs, and they had those rings, and then like they would tell you before you threw them away to snip them because they were getting into the ocean.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Okay? So I don't know what water is going to be like in a can. And I was telling someone, I was like, what about the concept of our government fixing and coming up with real regulations of like if you have a house, a lot of people went from regular plastic pipes to copper pipes because it's supposed to be more clean, more healthy. So how do we get to the point that we can drink the water and that we aren't having to live off of bottled waters? Because I can't drink nasty water, and I love water.
Yeah, I don't like that. I love that. I don't drink a lot apart from water and just a few other drinks, but I don't really drink anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, talking about plastic bottles, so San Francisco airport, they now don't have plastic water bottles, right?
Right.
Did you hear about that? They've done away with that.
Yeah. I mean, and it's something that's coming. So if you know of things about more specific about the cans and the plastic in the cans, please comment below. And if you know, like Rosetta was talking about, alternatives to the plastic bottles where you get glass. I've seen the ones you're talking about, like with the silicone on the outside.
Yes.
And I've seen those. And see, I love bottles like that. My only concern is that the bottles sometimes, if you have ice, because I like cold water, and then they start to sweat, and then you have rings on things. So, there has to be a win-win solution. So come on, bright people, come up with something, because we know that there are all kinds of things that are going on.
Very true.
Yes. So very quickly, we want you all to know that vaping is getting to be more of an issue. We've been talking about it in our last few videos. So they're finding, as we thought, a lot of this is people are bootlegging. They're making their own version. And Juul is in trouble because Juul has the flavors. And so they're looking to outlaw flavored canisters because adults don't normally go around looking for cotton candy.
Right, it's the kids that do that.
The kids are doing that, and now the kids are starting to get sick. So if you have a child, I was shocked. A lot of these children are between the ages of 10 and 12 that are vaping.
10 and 12, and sometimes the parents don't even know, because
No.
I found out, and this is, get this, my son is 15, he's a sophomore in high school, and he says that he knows there are kids in his school doing it. Obviously they don't do it in public, but he can tell, he can smell it. And I'm like, how can you smell? He goes, well, you can tell.
Yeah.
And I said, where do they do this? And he goes, probably in the bathrooms.
Right.
But they're not that expensive to buy, the vapes.
No.
My husband, we saw some news segment, and they actually showed a picture of the vapes, and it was, what was it? It was like $10 or something, $15.
Yeah, they're not real expensive.
Really?
And then the ones that you just buy on the streets are even cheaper.
Really?
So somebody has figured out how to clone it.
Well, yeah.
And I think when people start cloning, they are not regulating by do no harm. They're all about the money.
All about the money and how they can get it into the hands of the younger kids.
Yes.
Because they're the ones, it's just like smoking back in the days, right?
Yeah.
Kids will try anything, and then you get addicted to it. And they don't know the side effects of vaping because they don't think it's equivalent to smoking. Or,
no, because it's stronger. And it's just happening. So we don't have 20, 30 years to draw on to say, we know this is bad. We have, concrete proof that this is not good. They don't have enough time in it. So watch your children, make sure, and even grown children, just because somebody is grown, if they're your child, it's like, what are you doing? Be
and
careful.
Adults, if you're doing it.
Yes.
Please, this is your health. I mean,
yes.
Doesn't, just because some kids have had these issues come up, health issues, adults can get the same thing as well.
Absolutely. So you want to be very, very careful.
And I don't think it's trendy. My son even says, I don't even know why people are vaping. Don't they even know it's going to kill them?
I know.
That's my son.
And it's like, it's going to kill them, and don't they care?
Yeah, he's very strong about that, and alcohol.
Yes.
That and alcohol. It's like, don't they know? I'm never going to do that. Why would I ever do that? That's stupid.
Wonderful.
Yes.
May he always feels that way.
Good for my son.
Yes.
And it's actually kind of funny sometimes because I laugh, me and my husband. It's like, he goes on and on about it, he rants on, and we're looking at each other like,
well, that's one thing we don't have to worry about him doing.
Yeah.
That's how you look at that. So this weekend, tomorrow, a new movie, Hustlers, is going to hit the theater. It stars Jennifer Lopez. I call her J-Lo, like most people.
Get this, I didn't even know all these celebrities were going to be in it.
Well, number one, it's a true story. So that's really interesting. This really happened. So there's Constant Wu, Keke Palmer, Usher's in it. What's her name?
Cardi B.
But Julia Stiles is in it, and my girl Cardi B. And Cardi B told the other girls when they were trying to learn how to do this pole that it takes years to learn how to master it. And they did this movie in 20 days. So Jennifer Lopez had 6 weeks to learn how to work
Jennifer
this pole.
Lopez is quite fit. I mean, I'm sure she could do it.
To be 50 and that's
50 and fit.
50, fit, and
fabulous.
fabulous. I mean, she looks amazing. There's actually Oscar buzz about this, so I want to go see it.
I want to go and see it because I didn't know much about this. I'd heard about it, but I thought it was like just a sleazy movie. And I'm like, why would anyone go and watch that? And then I hear all the radio, the news saying, if you want to go and watch it early, tickets are selling out.
Right.
You may not be able to find any movie theater that has any slots available for you now.
That's right. And then tomorrow night on 2020 on ABC, I think it's like 10 o'clock, they're going to do the background story to this movie. And they're showing this little preview, and this girl, she's really cute, and it shows a guy holding a card, and it's in a club in the dark. And she said, if you ever see someone with a Black American Express card, that means he's a high roller.
Yep.
So these girls teach these boys, these Wall Street boys, what it's all about, because they're like, they stole money from people. Nobody ever went to jail. So we're not doing anything worse than what they did. So it's going to be interesting to see. And Constance, she was doing an interview, and she said for her, she goes, she just couldn't do it. There was stuff she couldn't do it. Her character was supposed to be bad at it. So she was like, I had it. I could do no wrong because I didn't know what to do. So I think it's going to be lots of fun, lots of entertainment. And as always, we really, really thank you for spending time with us. And when you go see Hustlers, comment. Let us know what you think.
What did you think? And do you think it's Oscar worthy?
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you again to my friend Gloria, always,
Yes.
for hosting this chat with me.
Oh, my pleasure. I love our conversations, and we have lots more to talk about. We're just trying to keep our videos a little shorter. And so next week, we are going to pick up with some of the topics that's going on in the world. The Democrat debate is tonight. So if you want to see the top 10, what they have to say, that's on, it is 5 p.m. Pacific Standard, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're looking for something to do, check it out.
You can tune in and check that out.
Yes.
So thanks again for tuning into our chat this week. And please, please, please subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
Hit that subscribe button and also the bell button so you can get notifications.
Yes.
And remember to always keep smiling.
Bye.
Toodles. Bye-bye.